holiday peace and love. We are doing a bunch of new seasonal adult jigsaw puzzles. This one is 1,000 piece. This illustrator is Cynthia Cliff, and this is an illustration of the holiday song 12 Days of Christmas. And it's got, you can't really see it that well, but it's got a gold ink on all over it. We've also made our puzzles, we scaled down from 11 by 11 to 10 by 10 because we felt it would be easier for our stuff to be on shelves in stores. And our puzzles retail very nicely because you can always have a scene that goes out. You can just put them on their sides, and now they fit on just about any shelf. So these are 10 inches by 10 inches. All of the holiday puzzles are that size, and then we're slowly converting all of our existing other 1,000-piece puzzles to that size. This is one called Ms. Claus, and it's by Carolyn von Mueller, who is a Swiss artist. And I really love the reds and pinks in this one. I think that's a very a nice color combination to go into the holidays. That's not quite so, it's a little non-traditional. And then we have Holiday Ornaments by Asta Barrington, who is a great English illustrator who lives in Bath, and she's got this kind of vintage style. This one has done very, very well in pre-sales. And in fact, all of our holiday puzzles have done very well in the past few seasons. So we're really increasing that. And we've brought in a lot of EBU product also for holiday because we think we always sell out. And then the next year, we always make a little bit more and we always sell that. So we've really expanded this line. We're excited about it. This is our new EBU 20-piece holiday puzzle. And for all of you who may or may not know, our 20-piece puzzles they come in a little box, 5 by 7, but the pieces and the puzzles are quite large. This one is by Linda Bleck, and she's a great older illustrator with a very vintage kind of golden book style and very vibrant colors. And you can see that the pieces, it's a small box, the pieces are very large, and our pieces are always very thick. And for any of you that don't know yet, all of our stuff is made out of sustainably sourced materials, recycled board, FSC paper, which means that it's a certified paper that comes from a place that does no harm but and benefits the community where the paper is sourced, and vegetable-based inks. So, and they're always very sturdy, laminated on 2 sides, and all of our puzzles always are printed on the back as well, to make them extra sturdy. So that's the 20-piece. And then we have, some of you may have had in the past, are what we call our bricks. These are displays, and they come packaged like a brick. So I call them a brick. They look like this. They come like this, and then you open it, and they easily just go in like this. And they make a nice counter display. This one is 36-piece puzzles. These do very well in other formats with other art, but these are our holiday assortments. These are also by Linda Bleck. And there are 4 different little 36-piece puzzles that you get. You get 4 of each one. And these come in a very little box, and they're very inexpensive, but they make a nice, big, sturdy puzzle. So even our very inexpensive little puzzles are always super, super sturdy with nice, good cardboard and not teeny weeny little pieces, nice size pieces. So that's that. Also in our holiday line, we did a little memory game, a little inexpensive holiday memory game with 18 pairs to match. And those are very nicely designed. As you know, all of our pieces, no matter what game, always has a different kind of back, which is just a little detail, nice art detail that we add to our stuff. So this is the holiday memory game. And then last for the holiday stuff, we did 2 more bricks. We did little holiday pencils, and we did little holiday sketchbooks. And these guys, they go nicely together. They're a great stocking stuffer or little gift. And there are 4 different styles of the pencils and 4 different styles of the sketchbooks. And they don't match exactly, so you have an opportunity to mix different art and make a very cute little set. So these are our holiday pencils. And actually I was lying, we have one more holiday thing, which is a redesign of our advent calendar display and a new advent calendar. So this comes in a brick, and you get, I think, 16 advent calendars. And our advent calendars, again, they're printed on very thick board. you open one day up at a time to show an image inside. And we have a nice little detail on it, which is that these guys here are little hooks, so you can tie a ribbon and hang it, or you can pop out this little stand and you can stand it up on your desk. So that's a nice little detail for this. And our advent calendar display illustrates the 4 puzzles, illustrates the 4 different advent calendars on the back. So now I'll talk to you about my our new set of, we did a whole bunch. We did very well with our art supplies. We have been doing very well with art supplies. I think people really respond to the art that we use and the quality of our pencils. So we've added a new format. It's actually an old format, but we've brought it back, which is the striped biggies. And this is a little brick of the striped biggies. And they're called striped biggies because they're fat. And I think they're very good. These are double-sided biggies. So they're little pencils like the size of your finger, and they come with these nice silver stripes, and they come with a sharpener because they don't fit into a little sharpener. They're really good quality. You can cover a lot of space with them if you're coloring. So they're nice for children. They're like this. They come in a brick, but you can also take them out of the brick and hang them if you want by the hang tag. So this is the Woodland series. And the display box is very cute in itself. It's designed on all sides. So those are the double-sided striped biggies. And these are little pads that merchandise with them. So you can buy a biggie and a little pad. And again, there are 4 little designs in this package. Then we did these very nice magical creatures biggies. And these biggies are 6 metallic colors and 6 fluorescent colors. And they're really good quality pencils. So they really lay down a very nice color. And they look like this. And they come with a sharpener. And this is what the little brick looks like for this one. Very pretty. This art is by Linda Black. And for these, instead of doing little pencils, little pads, we did a great big pad, like our standard sketchbooks, but it's lots of really beautiful and unusual colors, I think. And these are all just magical kind of folkloric creatures that live in kind of in a magical place. So that's that. And then we really went deep into our, pun intended, went deep into our shark stuff. So these are shark striped biggies that are also 6 metallic, 6 fluorescent, in a very nice display box, and also a large size pad. And then I think these are the last pencils. We've done a lot of eco stuff. We try to identify as a pretty eco company. All the materials we use are sustainable, recycled, vegetable-based inks. We are a carbon neutral company. We got our status about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, which means we offset our carbon footprint by donating to an organization that audits our energy use. And we try to stick to our message. So we consequently try to do a lot of product that calls out different aspects of the environment and getting children and adults to appreciate the environment. So this one is called Habitat, Habitat little sketchbooks, and this is deciduous forest, and this is the savanna, and this is the rainforest. And we have the Arctic tundra. So little pads and little pencils. So again, they don't exactly match, but you can pair a set of deciduous animals or pair a set of rainforest animals, or you can mix them up or whatever, make a nice set. But it's not boring, and they both don't have the same art on them. So it's a nice pair. These are the pencils. We have a diary line, or we call them journals. And they have locks, even though the key opens the lock to every single one of them, they do have a little lock. And ours are always as special as we can make them. We always put this crazy foil. So this one has a lot of pink and red in it, but it's got this crazy red foil. picture on the back. And all of our journals always have poems on the back or quotes. This one is, "The world is full of magic things, patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper." And that's a Yeats quote. And then we did a very nice shark one. And this has got this weird chartreuse foil, which is really lovely. And there are a lot of kids out there. I'm not sure why, because I think they're very scary, but a lot of them really like sharks. So this is what the interior pages of the shark journal looks like. Then we added to an existing format that we've had for a really long time, our Paper Doll series, which I really like. We call them thoughtful girls because they're girls that have the characters are girls that have lots of thoughts. We've done very well over the many, many years with our artist and musician, or baker and painter. And this one is our explorer and botanist. And our paper dolls come, you've got a little tag, you can put them in a display or you can hang them. They come with a little scene. All of them always come with a fold out scene. So in this case, there's an explorer's kind of den or study on one side, and then there's a garden on the other for the botanist. And it comes with two little characters. They come with little stands, two little girls, and then sheets of static cling clothing and accessories. So that's like the continuation of our nice paper doll series. Now this is a new format. I mean, we've done lacing cards for years and years, and people like lacing cards, but we did these really cute. This one is called Woodland Friends, Lace Up Woodland Friends, and these are 5 little die cut characters. This is a naked one. This is one with clothing, and it comes with 5 laces and a whole bunch of different clothing, lots of different characters, and a bunch of really pretty colored laces that we custom dye in nice colors, and then lots of little clothes and hats, and then you put them on the little guys and you lace them up. So that's kind of nice. Birthday hat. And then we have another one called Occupations. And these are animals and occupations. There's a doctor and a fire person and a construction person and an explorer person. And again, 5 little characters. 5 little characters that are really funny. And then little outfits. And you lay the outfits and you line up the holes and then you lace the clothing on. So this one's called Occupations. So that's one of our traditional formats that we've had for like maybe 25 years, but this is a new twist on that. This format, the memory game, is we try to refresh this format every year, at least once a year with a new design. This year we did shiny sharks, and it's actually Sharks and Friends because it also includes some rays and other things that are related to sharks that are not quite sharks. And we've got big scary ones like the big white, and then we've the great white, and then we've got other ones like the pajama shark that is not very scary at all. And we always have, they're always labeled, and inside they're translated. And with these guys, we just put a little bit of beautiful shiny aqua foil on the edges to make them special. And again, we always put a different pattern on our memory games because we do hear that consumers have more than one, and they sometimes even like to mix them. So it's nice to put a different thing to separate them, different background pattern to separate them. I don't know if all of you or any of you know that we have redesigned some of our classic games that we have Oppenheim Platinum and Oppenheim Gold awards, and we've remade them into versions in really funny shaped boxes. Like this one, this is a new picnic one, but last season we did the robot game, which we had for a long time. And together they are really cute. They kind of look like animals lined up on a shelf. And this one is a very simple game for preschoolers that I've heard that kids play over and over and over again. My kids really like this concept. It's very simple. You get a cloth that looks like a little picnic blanket and you lay it out in front of you. And then you spin for different foods and things that you would have at a picnic. And you're trying to collect a plate, and each one of the plates has a different little character on it that are very sweet. And you have to spin for a plate, you have to spin for utensils, and then you have to get a vegetable and a fruit and a drink. And a main course. You can get a dumpling or a veggie hot dog or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And then you get to choose a dessert. And it's really, really simple. You're just trying to collect one of each thing for your little plate. And when you get one of each category, you win. But kids really like to choose. I think giving them the agency to make their own choices and be kind of an independent thinker, kids get very excited when they're get to pick what dessert they want, or whether they want the dumplings or the hot dog. It's really sweet, and this is the spinner. So that's a great game, and it's got an Oppenheim Award, and it's a classic. This is another classic. This is Puppy Fuffle. This is a really good, I think a very good, simple preschool game. All you have to know how to do to play it is to be able to count to 6. This has an Oppenheim Platinum Award. This game is a board game. So it comes with the board, and our board's always fold up like this. And you see where all the yellow dots are? There you put different dog treats and toys, things that dogs like. And then all the players have to pick a dog. There are 4 different dogs to pick from. And you start out in your little corner. And then you spin 1 to 6. And then you just have to land on 1. And this board is laid out so almost any number that you roll, you're going to hit something at least in 1 or 2 turns. And if you land on a circle that has a toy on it, you get to keep it and you put it in your little area. And then if another dog gets catty corner, like up here, they can steal it. So there's a little bit of stealing. So there's a little bit of like fun and I don't know, suspense. But it's very simple to play. It's very fast to play because there are a very finite amount of these little pieces. And whatever, it's a really good game, and it's got an Oppenheim Platinum Award. And we've just reissued it in this really cute new shaped box. And we've had a very, very strong reaction to the older ones that we did. So we're going to keep going. We've got more coming every season. So this is a existing format. This is bingo games. We always try to imbue everything we do with a little bit of educational content or a lot of educational content. And we especially do that in our bingo games because it's really an opportunity to understand there are 48 little spots between all the boards. There's 6 boards and 8 spots per board. So it really gives you an opportunity to kind of investigate a theme. This one is about habitats. Like I said before, we're really trying to push the fact that we really are an authentically sustainable company and that we have real values about that issue, about the environment and being responsible. We've been responsibly manufacturing our stuff and not using plastic since I started 30 years ago. More and more people are interested in that. And we feel really good about the fact that we compromise very, very little in that regard. So this is Where Do I Live? And each of the cards is a different habitat. So savanna, the desert, woodland, deciduous forest, tundra, rainforest, and ocean. And with all our bingo games, it comes with a little cotton bag with a drawstring bag. And each player has a card or 2 cards or 3 cards. And you draw a tile. In this case, it's a jellyfish. So as you might imagine, this goes into the ocean. So if you have the ocean card, you can say, I have the ocean card, and you put this on your card. And when you fill up all the things on your card, you win the game. But in the process, you really start to understand what animals live in what environments. And I think that's a nice kind of head start early science activity. And kids like to accumulate knowledge concerning a category. It gives them a sense of confidence, to have kind of mastery over even small bits of things like that. So that's Where Do I Live bingo. Then we've had a format forever since I first started. It was one of my very first things I did were playing cards. And my idea back a million years ago was to get different artists to illustrate different classic children's card games in kind of the tradition of great artists doing playing card decks. Like Picasso did a deck and Brock did a deck, and lots of people, lots of famous artists did regular playing card decks. The idea was to get famous children's book illustrators to do children's games. So we've sold those cards for 30 years. They're always in our top sellers. And we've pretty infrequently add new ones, but this season we did add quite a few. We added a dinosaur rummy. We added a Go Fish, Go Shark Go, which is a version of Go Fish, but with sharks. So you're picking from each other's hands and trying to find pairs. We did an animal rummy for little kids because it's a pretty simple game, but it requires some strategy. And we did a redo of our Hearts game with new art by Linda Black. And these cards are super nice. Like, I'll show you a few examples. Also, all of our cards always have beautiful backs. These are the dinosaur rummy cards. So they're very vibrant, beautiful art, and always has the name of the dinosaur on the bottom. So kids can call it by the real names. And the Go Shark Go art is very nice. I find these sharks absolutely terrifying, these hammerhead ones, but there are lots of, there's rays, and this is the pajama shark, which I find tolerably scary, the striped pajama shark. And then again, nice back. Animal rummy is super, super cute, kind of vintage looking, super sweet. And it's a nice game for a little kid to learn how to do with nice characters and rainbow colors. And the Hearts, which is super cute, also with a very vintage style, kind of riffing on the old versions of these games from yesteryear. So these are the Hearts cards. Then I'm going to come back and do some more 20-piece puzzles. We did 2 new ones this season. We're trying to do assortments of using similar art to make make stories. So we have a nice little story that can be built around the magical creatures. So we have a 20-piece puzzle, we have the pencils, we have the diary, and the same with sharks. We did a bunch of different formats using similar art. So if you have a customer that wants a 20-piece because that's a littler kid, or an older, a 9 or 10-year-old that wants a 100-piece puzzle, there's something for them with that artwork. So these are 2 of them. And the puzzles, again, the 20-piece puzzles are in little boxes, but they're nice, big puzzles. And they're very sturdy, which I think is nice because they can get a lot of wear puzzles. And again, they always have a different color back. So if you have more than one and they get mixed up, you can always sort them out. So this is the magical creatures. Then this is one of my favorite products this season. I think it's great. I think it's, I think it's irresistible. It's little mini puzzles, like I showed you before in the holiday version. These are little tiny puzzles. They're only like, I don't know, like 2.5 inches by 4 inches or something, or even smaller. These are 4 different dinosaurs, but with a nice little display with these little explorers on them. But what makes them really unbelievable, besides the fact that it's really great art, is that when you turn off the light, their skeletons glow in the dark, which is just crazy. And not just like a little bit glow in the dark, like really glows in the dark. And that's really exciting glows in the dark. So these are them. They have 4 different backs in case you buy more than one and you want them. So this is what the glow in the dark looks like. And it's really bright. I mean, with someone at Ibu took a photograph of them in the dark and you could really read them, which was amazing to me. So this is the display. I love this product. And then we have a giant puzzle, a brand new giant puzzle of the solar system. So we've had a number of other space things, but this one is an updated one because there's been so much that has been discovered in the last few years. So we updated the art, we made it really vibrant. These giant puzzles, I don't know if you can tell how big they are. They're big. They're 10 inches from top to bottom, almost 3 inches on the edge. And even though the box is square, the puzzle is a very big rectangle. I mean, it's, show it to you. Can you see how big this is? It's very, very big. And it's got in it all of this wonderful information about the black hole that they just photographed for the first time, or the first black hole that they've been able to photograph. And it's got information about the orbits and the different planets and the Hubble and other more contemporary telescopes and means of exploration. So that's the giant puzzle. And then what's nice about another nice thing about our giant puzzles is that they come with this really pretty printed poster that you can put on the wall. And it gives a lot of information on it. So that's the giant puzzle. Then this is a puzzle that these are puzzles that almost broke us. This is a very, very ambitious EBU project, but we did an anatomy puzzle because we were looking around. I felt like a lot of the anatomy puzzles for kids are so simplified that you don't even really understand what you're looking at. So these are very complete and, in my opinion, very accurate. We ran them by 1 million people. I'm sure someone will find some little bone or tendon that's maybe mismarked, or that's a problem. You write us, we'll change it 100%. So these are 4 different puzzles. They are big like this. Each of them is 36 pieces. And in very much detail, it shows you about the musculature system, the circulatory system, the skeletal system, and the endocrine system. So like glands and organs and things like that. Again, I think kids, even if they understand 10% of what they're doing in these puzzles, they're going to actually really learn a lot about the body. And you can see, because the bodies are in the same place, you can see how kind of layers, the layers of muscles and the layers of circulatory system. I think it's really interesting. And if a kid learned 5% of what's on these, it would be really great and will stick in their head probably forever. At least that's how I feel about my own childhood. When I learned something new and I had like mastery over a small thing, I was really proud of it. And I remember it still. So we also made this long poster, and we added even a little bit more information, because on the puzzles themselves, we cut them down, cut the information a little bit, because we didn't want the writing to get caught in the creases of the die cut. So we include this big poster, this nice 4-color poster that has all of the information plus a little bit more. So that's the anatomy puzzles. I'm just going to finish up EBU now with a few more of our existing formats. 2 new 64-piece puzzles, Deciduous Forest and Savannah. These were both good toy group choices this year. And they're very nice. Again, it's not a huge box. I think it's 8 by 8, but the puzzles are really nice. Oop, upside down. The puzzles are always nice and large, and the pieces are super, super sturdy and thick. Like it's almost impossible to bend them. So that's really nice. And the Deciduous Forest is very bright and fresh. So those are the 2 new 64s. Then is this the last of them? So these are the last 2. We did Love of Bugs, and we did the Magical Creatures. Love of Bugs is in a series. We did Love of Bees, we did Love of Bats, we did Love of Sharks, and this is Love of Bugs. And the idea is that we're trying to find creatures and things that maybe people are either disgusted by or scared of. So they're turned off by them, but they're actually very important to our ecosystems, and their health is very much tied into our health as human beings. And so it's important to understand them and to appreciate them and to be a little bit less grossed out or fearful of them, because our stories are very much intertwined. And if bees are dying out or bats are dying out, it probably means that there's bad stuff around that's also bad for us. So we have, we share our environments, and those animals are often the canary in the coal mine for us to understand our own environment. So this is Love of Bugs. And our 100-piece puzzles are really nice. They're quite large. This is the Magical Creatures. It's almost a giant puzzle, but we don't call them giant puzzles, but they are kind of giant puzzles. And this is Love of Bugs. And the pieces are very big. They're 100 pieces. So it's, I don't know, kids can do puzzles at all different ages. It's hard to, sometimes there's a very little kid that can do 100-piece puzzles, then some older kid that's really smart that has trouble with little. It's just a developmental thing. This is a 100-piece puzzle with nice big pieces. And that's EBU. That's the EBU stuff. And I just have a few new Peace and Love formats that I'd like to show you. We were asked by a lot of our reps and some of our customers to do more product based on the art of some of our better selling puzzles. So we have a great illustrator named Jennifer Orkin Lewis, who does a lot of our Peace and Love puzzles that are our best sellers. And she used to be a designer for Kate Spade. And now she works independently. So these are watercolor pencils and a watercolor pad. The watercolor paper is very good and it's a nice size to put in your bag if you're going to the beach. Watercolor it's hard to do big watercolors. So this is like a really good size for doing watercolor. These are watercolor pencils. So you can either dip them in water and draw, or you can draw with them and then take a brush and put water over it. And this art is from the Seaside Garden, which has been one of our best-selling puzzles for years. On the back, it shows you what all the colors do. And we've actually, it seems like it's been a nice start with these guys. So this was one style. And then I did another style of watercolor pencils with the artwork of Melissa Sweet, who's a Caldecott winning artist. This was from a puzzle of hers called Pebbles. And again, this great quality watercolor paper and really good quality watercolor pencils that are easy to use. This was a funny project that we just decided to do because I just thought it was such a nice idea. This is a little canister, sturdy canister of 100 colored pencils. They're 50 pencils, but they are double-sided. They're really beautiful. And each one of them is stamped with this lovely, lovely stamping. And the color is really vivid. And the box is really nice. And you can keep your box on the desk like this. And it's got a nice lid. And I think it's quite inexpensive for this quality of pencils. The pencils really are beautiful quality. And I'm sure if you need to have one that you leave open, anyone at Ibu would be happy to add one to your order so that you could keep it open and people could see how beautiful these guys are and the combinations of the colors. And the way we picked what goes on top and the bottom, we put a full spectrum of 100 colors out and we took halfway 50-50 and we flipped them, and that's how we chose so these are exactly opposites on the color spectrum. Oh, this was nice. Sarah made this. It's beautiful. So these are all the colors. They're really vibrant and strong pencils. Then this is the last new format for Ibu, for Peace and Love, before I go to the puzzles, but we did these really beautiful playing cards. Last season, we did bridge cards, which maybe was a little bit complicated for people because bridge cards are in fact just exactly like regular playing cards, but just a little narrower because bridge players like that. So these are new. We did 4 of our illustrators that we work with on Peace and Love puzzles. This is Asta Barrington, who did the Christmas ornament puzzle. And so this is pretty. It's got this beautiful foil side. And then the cards themselves are really pretty, but they also have these beautiful, shiny sides, which are unusual. So that's the Asta Barrington one. And then we did one that was called Garden of Eden. And this art is by an artist from Berlin who does large environmental room-sized pieces to call attention to the flora and fauna endangered in the world. This has got this beautiful rainbow gold foil. And these cards they're really pretty. And they have crazy colored sides. I love this foil on the sides, and I haven't really seen decks of cards like this, so I'm really pleased with them. Our cards have a beautiful linen finish, and they're very snappy, and they shuffle really well, and they've got a good weight. And we also have these very nice face cards. Most face cards are very little scary looking, and they carrying weapons and stuff. Ours do not, and they are also different ethnicities. And we also, most of the cards are printed in just blue, red, yellow, and black, and ours have some pretty light blue and some lavender. So they are a little bit different, a little more Ibu. So these are Shelley Aldrich, who's a wonderful illustrator from California. And sorry, it's backwards. This is a beautiful pink spine, and this one has a beautiful cornflower blue. That's Shelley Aldrich. That's these, and it's got this beautiful teal blue foil. And then last, we have a mushroom set with the beautiful sky blue foil. And this collage is done by Fumiha Tanaka, who works with us at Ibu for many, many, many years. So these are the decks, and these are the spines, the beautiful gold and a beautiful red. So that's the mushroom set. And now for puzzles, and this is the classic Peace and Love stuff. So this is Cats of the World. And this shows you lots of different kinds of cats and what kind of cat they are and things that cats like and how to say meow in different languages. And then a little world map here so you can geolocate the origins of all these different cats. And that's by Alison Strine, who's an American illustrator. We only did one other 500-piece puzzle. This is also by Shelley Aldrich, did those playing cards. This is called Four Birds. And we asked her to render all of these different classic garden flowers, and they're also identified. So you can see there's nasturtiums and pansies and oxeye daisies and lots of nice recognizable garden flowers. So that's Four Birds. And then finally, our 1,000-piece puzzles. I think we have a nice list. We did Lisbon. We definitely have seen that people like travel puzzles. So we're adding city by city each season. This is Lisbon. I think a lot of people have been traveling to Lisbon. Alex loves Lisbon. We also have a kitchen series. We had a yellow kitchen called Chicken Kitchens. Then we did the green kitchen. We did a blue kitchen. So this is now the lavender kitchen. This is by an English artist named Vanessa Bowman, and we commissioned this. We commission all of our art. We do a sketch, we have conversations with artists, and we pick themes. We have a number of series going, so the travel series, we have the kitchen series, which is really nice now. We have a pink kitchen coming up for the following season. So this is Lavender Kitchen, and it depicts this nice little English countryside and a bouquet of flowers. This is an artist named Sarah Jarrett. She's a collage artist, also an older female artist from the countryside in England, and she does these beautiful collages. In this case, this is an artist and her daughter, and it's a fun puzzle to do because it's got lots of little areas of interest, and it's very sophisticated and very beautiful, and I love her work. So this is Sarah Jarrett, artist and daughter. We find that a lot of people that read also like to do jigsaw puzzles, that there's a little bit of an overlap, a Venn diagram of readers and puzzle doers. So this one is called Women Reading. And obviously there's a lot of detail in these, and you can get a copy of this presentation if you want to see it more, or if you want to see it in our catalog. These are women in different places, really nice places that you would want to just sit and read. And this is by Jennifer Orkin Lewis. Then this is a series that I'm really proud that we did. It's so much fun. It's called The Alchemist, and it started out with something called the Alchemist Cabinet, which was just a wall of different kind of curiosities, of different scientific curiosities and other things. But you didn't really know who the alchemist was, although there was a little picture of her up on the wall. And then the next one we did was called The Alchemist's Home. So it was a whole interior of a house, like a cross section of a house. And in the center of the house was the little cabinet in the little room. And around the house, you could see pictures of the alchemist in all times of her life. It's really fun. And this is the alchemist study. So we were like really zoomed in, then really zoomed out. Now we're kind of like halfway zoomed in. So this is her study. And this is either her daughter or her former self. And this is her granddaughter grown up. There's sort of like a time changey kind of story definitely going. This is a very young illustrator from Russia named Vasilisa Romanov, and she's amazing. And this is Alchemist study. Alchemist library, what am I saying? Alchemist library. And also this little girl is standing on a big book of Maria Mitchell's astronomy. Maria Mitchell was a famous astronomer on Nantucket in the 1800s, which is inconceivable and crazy, but it's got a lot of reference to women in science, and it's nice. Then Asta Barrington, who I've showed you a few things of. This is Cats in Windows, and she's got like this really great kind of fuzzy vintage style. I think for people that like cats or people that like windows or people that just like doing nice, interesting puzzles, there's lots of distinct areas to do puzzles. We work very hard to make our puzzles interesting. So when you're working on them, there are no big parts that are all the same color. We go in and color correct so that this blue is different than this blue, so there's not a lot of confusion. We make sure that the edges all have lots of different things going on, because edge pieces can often be put in the wrong place because their edge pieces tend to be very similar. So we really work hard, not just on the artwork and where we get the artwork and how we design it, but also just the quality of the experience of puzzling. And that, I think, makes us very different than other puzzle companies. because that's really top of mind. I don't want people to work on our puzzles and be frustrated. And then finally, we have this lovely one, and this is also a series. This is the English Cottage series by Victoria Ball, who is another English artist. And first thing we did was the English Cottage, which did very, very well. It was a pretty little cottage with a garden. Then we did the English Hedgerow, which was behind the little house. Then we did a holiday puzzle of the little town. And this is a further back view of the little town. So this is called Seaside Harbor. And it's really beautiful, and it's certainly great for this season. And like you can see, all the houses are different colors. So if you're sorting pieces, it's very easy to know what area you're working on at what time. So that, I think, that's the Ibu and the Peace and Love. And now I'm really happy to take questions. Liz, if you want to moderate that.
I have some questions that were written in the chat, so we can go through those first.
Great.
Someone had a question about FSC. Do you want to explain a little bit more about how we do FSC stuff and some of our sustainability practices?
So FSC is a particular designation that gets put on paper, and it means that you've, first of all, it costs a bunch more to buy FSC paper because it's monitored and audited by an organization that makes sure that the paper is not it's not exploiting the community that it's being manufactured in, but not only that they're not being exploited, but they actually profit from the manufacturing of this paper. So it's a very important designation if you see it, and know that the company that is using that is making a real effort to make sure that the paper is not coming from a bad place. So in addition to using FSC paper, any kind of board that we use, and we use board on almost everything, is a 90% recycled board that's made out of post-consumer waste. So like newspapers and boxes and packaging and stuff that's been crumpled up and reformatted. We use vegetable-based inks that are non-toxic and very bright, and obviously much better for the environment than oil-based inks. We belong to an organization called Climate Partner, which you pay into every year to get designated as a carbon neutral, to be audited, to be a carbon neutral partner. And they look at all your uses of energy as a company. And they say, okay, so you use this much. And in order to offset this, these are the amount of dollars that you're going to contribute. In our case, you get there's a menu that you can choose from. We've chosen to support this reforestation program in the Brazilian rainforest. On our website, maybe it's not working yet because we're doing some work on our website, but you can do a direct link into Climate Partners, and they will show you Ibu, that we put our number. We always put our license number, so you can go to Climate Partners, put in our license number, and actually see how many trees that we've planted at any given time. I want to not just say that we do all this sustainability stuff because we believe in it and we're really trying, but I also want our customers to be able to look and see that we really are doing it. And that's important, that people know that we're not just giving it lip service, that we actually are investing our time and money. The other thing that we do that I didn't mention while I was talking about the product, but I think is very important, we always try to use very little plastic, but sometimes we have to use a bag inside of our package to hold the components together, because if the package gets broken and and the product is damaged, then you throw it away and it's really useless. But we tried very hard to find a recycled bag for a long time and couldn't, because they would break. So we now found, and these again, like these are compostable bags made out of plant-based materials. They're biodegradable and non-toxic. They do cost more to use, but we have them in all of our games, even the little tiny ones, even the little 36-piece puzzles, and obviously the big puzzles, and we call it our Good Green Bag. And made with plant-based materials, compostable, biodegradable, and non-toxic. So yes, so the materials we use are non-toxic and sustainable, and we are a carbon-based thing. And if anyone has any more questions, they're always welcome to call us, but we're trying to articulate all of these messages in our catalog and our website and everywhere else.
Awesome. Someone asked about the artist playlists. Can you just show the QR code that's on the box?
This is a great thing, but we don't seem to be able to get this messaging out effectively enough. Every one of our adult jigsaw puzzles has an artist playlist. And there are other companies that have playlists in their puzzles, and that's like nice, jazzy, good music to listen to while you're puzzling. Ours is a little bit different than that. Ours is actually a list that's curated by the illustrator or the artist. of stuff that they love to listen to while they're working. And we've recognized that people that do these puzzles, they spend hours and days, sometimes weeks working on a puzzle. They get very invested in the art and the artist. And I think it's really nice to give them, the consumer, a little bit of a window into what these artists, like their lives and what they're listening to and what they like. And because our artists come from all over the world, this is an opportunity to get playlists from Malaysia and from France and from Spain and different places. So there's a lot of new music there, and you just scan the QR code, which is on the back of this little thing, and you get a really nice playlist, and you can experiment and play around. They're also, I think they're also going to be on our website so that you could scan them from there too, or they will be. Anything else?
Yeah. So this is not something someone asked in the chat, but it's just something I want to talk about too, is at Astro, there was a lot of talk about MESH, which is mental, emotional, social health. And I know that's something we've been doing forever. So I just wanted you to just have a little say about that.
Yes, we've been doing it for a very long time, and it's hard stuff to do. It takes a lot of research. We never put anything out on the market that deals with social and emotional intelligence without showing it to psychologists and teachers and parents, doctors. We get lots and lots of advice because we certainly don't want to make anything complicated for a kid that's working at important issues. But we have this whole series of flashcards, or conversation cards, we call them. How am I feeling? I heard your feelings, that are really a wonderful resource. And we've gotten such great feedback forever about them. But, you know, it's not something that people like readily pick up at a toy store, but you could. And they're very important because there are so many kids, especially since COVID, that are having a hard time navigating complex social circumstances, or been isolated, or they haven't been in school or whatever. I think this is a great tool, not just for kids, but for parents, and for parents to draw out from kids what they're feeling at any given time. And they're very simple, and they don't have pictures of children, so there's no weirdness. They're always animals kind of talking to each other. They show a situation of animals doing an activity, and on the back of the card, there's always a series of questions that a parent or a caregiver can ask a kid, like, what do you think is going on here? Do you think the dog is being mean to the cat? Do you think the cat is ignoring the thing? Or, like, you know, they're questions that really get a kid kind of thinking and talking unselfconsciously about situations at school or at home that maybe that they're trying to figure out, and this is an opportunity for them, for you to hear their side of it, so that you can give them a little guidance about how to deal with it. So yeah, it's a whole spread in our catalog, and they really are great things, and they have awards and people love them. So try them if you haven't. I think they're great. They're great.
Someone had asked about diversity, and I know we do always depict different ethnicities on our puzzles. The one thing I'm not sure if you covered, though, in our playing cards, we actually have, I know you can't see it on my, the face cards are all diverse as well. Do you want to show those guys?
I did show them when I was going over the playing cards, but yeah, the face cards on our adult playing cards, instead of them, you know, we tried to make them as diverse as possible. There are different kinds of faces. And they're nice faces, and they're smiling. And on regular cards, they're really kind of menacing and scary. And there's like some scary kind of dagger, and they're very serious colors. And yeah, so that's that. And then we always try, if we're ever depicting actual human beings, which we don't do that much in eBoo, we tend to use animals more than people. We always make sure that we have a good mix, that we're depicting children of all different colors and shapes and sizes.
And then someone had asked, I know that we don't have any for this season, but someone asked about new coloring books. So I don't know if you want to.
Coloring books. Well, we don't have any coloring books now, but we do have some stuff coming out next season. We have some new Learn to Draw books that are really great. We've had Learn to Draw books, which are really interesting and done by different illustrators. And then we've got some new pencils coming out with some drawing accordion folded mini murals inside of them, and that would be for the next season, so that would be for next June.
I think that's all I had. I don't know if anyone has any other questions. Just post them in the chat real quick. I'll give them 2 seconds to see if there's anything else.
Yes, as Liz is saying, if you ever need samples, because we feel like we're happy to give samples to stores, because when we feel like when people see the quality of our artwork, the vivid, the vivid good artwork and the really great construction of our product, they're really encouraged to buy it and feel good about it. So if you guys need samples for your stores, please reach out, and whoever you're placing your order with, I'm sure we'll be happy to accommodate a sample request.
Someone asked if we could see the inside of the Magical Creatures diary.
Oh, sure. Let me see. I mean, they're not like the most exciting things, but they're outside is a little more exciting than the inside. The nice end paper and these nice little funny fruits and lines. Go back to them.
Awesome. I think that is it. We can real quickly, I did a random pick, and our winner for the coupon for the $200 is Catherine Osborne from Letterpress Books. So congrats to you. We'll be in touch with you about getting your credit set up. And yeah, if you ever have any questions, obviously we're always here to help you out. Just send us an email, give us a call. Yeah, Catherine, we're excited for you.
All right.
Thank you so
great.
much.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks, everybody. Bye, Betsy.